going to create one video, it should be a show reel. So obviously, if you want to create an act, you have to create a video for that particular act. But if you're going to do anything after this course, I'm sure people, you probably have show reels. But the main thing I look for, if you're going to apply to work for me, is a show reel. So high quality, steady footage. Even if you're recording it on your iPhone or however you're recording it, just make sure it is steady. The shot is like on a tripod or lent against something. Obviously, if you've got a professional videographer, tell them. Some videographers prefer to film things handheld. Just say, I want you to film on a tripod, I want you to film on a gimbal, because it will massively, massively improve the quality of your video. Same with filming it landscape. My like pet hate is when someone sends me a video and it goes from like landscape to portrait to portrait to landscape. And you have to upload it on YouTube or Dropbox for anyone to be able to promote you. So, I'm sure like you might have great footage filmed portrait that someone's filmed on their phone, but just don't use it, because it will devalue your show reel. It's better to just have a shorter show reel without those clips. Get straight to the point. I've had many, many show reels sent to me I had a magician send me a show reel, and no joke, for 2 minutes, he was like close-ups of his face and he was like wandering around. And I was like, that's great, but I didn't know what he did, and I was skipping through, and people tend to on YouTube, like the statistics on my YouTube channel is most people click off after 20 seconds. So you want to make sure that you get straight to the point. Whatever your skill is, show us straight away, because I don't want to be watching 2 minutes of videos. And also, like, we're really busy. Sometimes I get like 10 to 15 people apply to me a day, and I always make sure I reply, but sometimes, you just do a courteous reply and then you drag it into a folder and you think, when I'm less busy, I'll look at that. But, sometimes if we've got interns in or someone's not busy, they might look at your show reel. But if your show reel is 2 minutes of nothing before you get to your skill, or it's not obvious, or it's not something we can pitch straight away, that would be that. It would just be gone to the wayside.
By show reel, does that mean it has to be shot at gigs, or?
No, so it's just showing your skill. So if you haven't done any gigs yet, if you're fresh out of circus school, you probably have done a show, like as your final show, or even if you haven't got any professional footage, as long as, I would say, you find like a clear space or a background that looks like it's like a shoot, so like a graffiti wall, or even like if you're a fire performer in a field at night, just put a couple of uplighters, or, don't be sending me a video of like random places like, in the park and there's people in the background, or you're in your bedroom dancing, because it's just not going to look professional, really, sending it to someone. Yeah?
What would you say to having, like, if you've got some really, really good images, of having, like video, image, video, or whatever?
I personally am not a massive fan of having loads of photos in a video.
Not loads, but like say 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, and I'd say it's a great way to start the video, if you could, to be able to see what you look like, because the worst thing is watching a show reel to the end and you're like, I have no idea who that was in that show reel. So if you've got like a good headshot or a good promotional shot, or you're filming like pixel point, it's quite hard for the camera to pick it up. So you might want to like put a picture at the start. But yeah, just as long as there's not too many, then it's absolutely fine.
As an agent, how do you know when someone's a quality performer, if they do have a quality promo, without seeing like a full-length act?
So I think you can normally tell by the moves they're doing.
Yeah.
So for example, you might have the slickest promo ever if you're a fire performer, but if you could literally just wave a pair of fans around, that's what you're doing. That's the content of the video. So, I immediately can see if you're juggling 7 clubs, or, if you're bending yourself in half, I can see that. So as long as you include that right at the beginning, and again, like, you film it in a way where a corporate person will, or it could be anyone, but, even we do a lot of private parties as well, but they basically call it, like, a lot of my clients call me like reassuringly expensive, and it sounds weird, but as in they think, well, you know, I should be paying more for that. Why am I not paying more for that? Maybe that performer's not as good as their promo is. So if you want to be securing like high-end corporate or private parties or international jobs, you will need to create a video that someone's going to like buy into you, because that's what they're seeing. But also on the other end, you don't want to be like spending £1,000 on a showroom and being absolutely terrible and not train at all and just be like, oh yeah, I've got this amazing promo video, get those bookings, but you're probably not going to then get rebooked. You'll get that initial booking, but you might not get rebooked by that agency. So yeah, I kind of covered this, like best moves and costumes at the start. If you've like invested in a couple of really high quality costumes, or you know, your best moves, I'd whack them right at the start, because I suppose people might think, oh, I should build up to my best move because people will watch it to the end. No, like I pretty much normally just watch, and if it's interesting, I'll watch it, but I normally just skip, because you're just so busy and you have so many people apply, you just want to see what that person is. So in the first 20 seconds, if you've shown me, oh yeah, you've got a great high quality picture, I know what they look like, oh, their costume's really cool, they do 3 or 4 skills, I'm going to carry on watching, rather than, you know, again, like sort of waiting till half or right at the end, because I might not get that far. More than one skill yet show, and then stage presence and performing face. This is like a huge thing for me. So I was just actually telling Natalie, I know this guy, he's heart of gold, amazingly talented performer, met me years and years and years ago, and I said to him then, I said, just create a video. I said, because you're so talented, I'll be able to get you loads of work. And he only did it now, sent it to me a couple of weeks ago, but his face just looks like he's completely just disconnected from his performance. Like he's looking at the floor, he looks shy, he looks like timid, he looks like almost like a bit bored. So just make sure, you know, performing is your passion, make sure it comes across in your face. Make sure, depending on, I don't know, like the market or the person that you're trying to get the job, so if you're aiming for like a children, family friendly person, make sure you're like super smiley. If you want to like get loads of burlesque bookings, make sure you're like super sultry. It's like, it sounds obvious, but the amount of people that send me videos, and I just think if I put them on stage in an arena or something, you know, there's going to be cameras filming them, and that's your promotional video, so that should be like the highlight and the best you look and everything like that. Color correction. So obviously, you know, you can pick up tips about video editing online, but if it's not your skill and you just think, oh, I'd rather like pay someone to do it, just make sure, like I'd always say, if you're going to hire a videographer, a couple of top tips is give them a deadline of when you need the footage by. Do not just pay them and be like, oh, come and shoot me, because then you might be chasing them for months and you can't get the footage. Do not pay them in full up front, because people do things for money. So pay them half and make sure it's of good quality, and then pay them the other half when you have the footage. And make sure that they color correct and look at all the lighting, because you don't want to get something back and it's just completely gray, it's unsaturated, it just looks dull. You want to make sure it looks as vibrant. You know, if you're paying a professional, or if you filmed it yourself, just go online. I always use Adobe Premiere Pro to do my editing. However, you know, you can use iMovie. There's loads of apps on your phone now that you can download for free. Just make sure it looks basically as good as it can look. But yeah, so if you're sitting here thinking like, oh, I don't have the money to hire a videographer and do all these, invest in all these elaborate costumes, then just do everything I've already said, but just with your iPhone. So iPhones are really high, no, you know, or Android phone, your phone. Start with a clear, non-selfie photo of your face or body. If you don't have that, a video just showing what you look like at the start's great. Use your friends. If any of your friends are videographers or they have a camera, then just ask them, you know, I'll teach you a bit of poi, you do a bit of video of me. You can buy tripods for like £4 off of Amazon. Just when you get a booking, just set your phone up on the stage, or GoPro if you've got a GoPro. College interns you can ask. Free editing apps on your phone. Again, landscape filming, it's like my big thing. Just don't send me a portrait video, I don't want to see it. And then a clear background just to make sure it just looks clean and appeals to everybody.